All right, let's keep talking. I mean, the Dallas Stars are definitely a part of our next conversation here. It is the inner circle, Frank, and we're going to be doing this last Friday of every month. So we'll keep it moving. Names will come in and out, and we'll be kind of tracking. I like this more than a straight power ranking, because then I feel like the debates always get into like, oh, you have this team at 3, but this team at 5, and I think they should be switched. I think this is a clear-cut way to be like, all right, in the moment, who truly looks like a Stanley Cup contender? Do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'm happy to go first because I'm pretty selective. I think this is a really tough category to crack. And I actually don't have any teams on my outer circle because I don't know that anyone's really earned that distinction yet. So this week's results, I guess, notwithstanding for the New York Rangers after Peter Laviolette blasted them after last night's game. And even after a 5-0-1 start, they were somehow getting booed at Madison Square Garden, which is like crazy. But I've got the Dallas Stars, Winnipeg Jets, who have been unbelievable, and they've played to their team identity. The Oilers have been scuffling, but I'm still going to take the long-term view for a team that started so poorly last year. And the Vegas Golden Knights, I think, given what we just talked about with their defense, given the way that this team has started, I really like the strength of their tandem in net. I think Vegas is right in that group. And so who are some of the other teams that I thought about or talked about, to try and sort of negotiate down to this group? The Florida Panthers going to 2 cup finals in a row, like you have to consider them. I don't think they're as strong as some of the other teams that are in that mix. Didn't really know what to do with the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Leafs have sort of come back to earth after a really good start. The Devils, to me, are a little bit too all over the place to really throw them in that group. And then out west, I love what we've seen from Mini, 5-0-2, but they're not there yet. And I don't really see any other potential contender from the Pacific Division. So then someone's probably looking at that saying, you asshole, why don't you have the Colorado Avalanche in there? Can't you see that this team has come alive? What's missing here? Right now, until we see what that lineup looks like later, I just think they're too thin to truly be a Stanley Cup contender.
Yeah, and I did not have the Avs in my inner or outer circle either, simply because of that. I was trying to look at this through a balance of like in the moment, but also with a little bit of in the long run, how do I view their roster? So I only had 4 in my inner circle, and it just so worked out that it was for one team from each division. I have Florida in. Yeah, I have Florida in, which you didn't. I just look at it and you might go, hey, they're 5-3-1. Like, what's so special about that? Winning games without Barkov. They won games without Matt Tkachuk as well. I think that roster and just the way Paul Maurice continually has this team playing is so impressive. So I had Florida in along with the other 3 that you did. I had some outer circle pieces. And for me, it was just teams with only maybe 1 question mark is how I kind of laid it out. And I mean, Winnipeg is the one I really hummed and hawed on, because you're like, Jesus, Yaremchuk, they're 7-0. What more do you want to see from them? But then there's also the part of me that goes, they didn't really add anything new over the summer. It's the same core that hasn't gotten the job done year over year. So maybe I do want to see them be elite for 3 months before I'm willing to put them in a tier which they've never proven they can be in.
Yeah, and that's a totally fair comment. And Boston probably should have gotten some love from me. I know that they've been an analytic mess, and a lot of their underlying numbers are brutal. And unlike them, I just think that team is going to round into better form than they are now. I've got Winnipeg there because I do think sometimes at the end of the day, identity ends up being king. And look, there's lots of good arguments. The only sort of quip or commentary I would have for you is you got 9 teams on there, bud. That's like 28% of the league. It's kind of a lot.
I know, but there's only 4 in my inner circle.
Yeah, so you were more selective on the inner, which is great.
Yeah. But I mean, we do know
in the generous on the outer.
Yeah, but in the NHL, I mean, it is a little bit of a win and get in, or get in and you can win kind of league, right?
That's what makes it fun.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to keep doing that last Friday of every month. Should be a lot of fun to track things throughout the year. And also like look back at the end of the regular season or at the end of the Stanley Cup playoffs and be like, who did we have in October in our inner circle? Because I'm sure there'll be a couple that'll leave us being like, what were we even thinking? What's up, hockey fans? If you enjoyed that video, then you need to be hitting the subscribe button right here at Daily Faceoff. Exclusive interviews and analysis from our hockey insider Frank Saravalli, fantasy updates from Brock Sagan, and a daily live show at noon Eastern Monday through Friday. You don't want to miss any of the fantastic content, so hit that subscribe button.